let's talk about keeping it simple, the cover band edition. So somebody actually commented on one of my Facebook videos the other day, and they asked, why are you the angry sound tech? You don't seem angry. And I was thinking in my head, I was like, the original reason I called this channel the Angry Sound Tech was I felt like I needed an outlet to just vent about my cover band experiences, my national artist experiences, and just day-to-day stupid stuff that comes up. And that's originally what the channel was going to be, just a venting outlet. But then I was like, who the heck wants to listen to that every day? So, I decided to make it a review channel and kind of give out some pro tips, here and there. And then, I was also just thinking, every time I want to rant about something, I never have a camera by me. But, I just so happened to be in my office late tonight, and I just got a phone call that was somebody advancing the show for next Saturday. And I heard my least favorite sentence of all. And this might not sound like a big deal to some of you, but for some reason it just annoys the crap out of me. I heard, we're a 5-piece band and we all sing. And that just triggers something in me, because in my head I just wanted to say, do you? Do you all really sing? Or do 2 of you sing and 3 of you have open microphones for absolutely nothing? Maybe to say stupid shit on the breaks, maybe to just make your lips move and look like you're singing, And maybe that doesn't seem like that should be something that annoys me, but it does. Because, this is a venue that seats about 350 people, corner stage, and just every extra microphone you put on stage for no reason whatsoever just picks up the drums, picks up everything, picks up guitar amps. It's just noisy stage paradise with open mics that don't need to be there. Just annoys the crap out of me. I mean, my most annoying thing is the drummer that needs a microphone and doesn't sing a freaking note all night long. Doesn't sing a note, but the microphone's there, just amplifying everything on the drum set like a freaking overhead, and it just annoys the crap out of me. And it's not just unnecessary open microphones on stage that annoy me. It's the guitar player with 30 pedals. I was doing a show one time, and I mean this guitar player's got a pedal board. I swear to God, it's got to be 5 feet, 6 feet wide, and it's just pedal, 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 pedal. And, I felt like telling the guy after the show, you've got the worst guitar tone I think I have ever heard in my life. I mean, it doesn't even sound like a guitar. And then, 3/4 of the way through the show, his guitar, it just isn't in the mix. And he's like, hey, waving me over from front of house, and I come over to the side of the stage, and he's like, what'd you do? What'd you do? I don't got any sound out of my guitar. What'd you do? And I'm like, dude, I didn't do anything. Like, I'm getting no signal. I'm like, do you hear it coming out of your amp? Because I'm miking your amp. So if your amp's not making sound, it's on your end of things. And then he starts looking down at his, 6-foot pedal board with all the pedals, and it's like, oh, my tuning pedal's on. Like, you fucking moron. But it's just this overcomplication, like making things way more complicated than they need to be. It's the guitar player that brings in 3 guitar amps. Oh, this is my clean amp, this is my reverb amp, and this is my dirty amp. And you got 2 guitar players, and they each think they need 3 amps, so you're making 6 freaking guitar amps. And at the end of the day, I'm like, have you listened to your tracks channel? Because half of what's coming out of the speakers is tracks. Do you need 6 guitar amps on stage? Do you need 5 open mics when you've got vocal tracks coming through everything? I mean, it irritates the crap out of me that, obviously when you're doing production for a national show, Yeah, a lot of them need 40 channel mixers. They're micing top and bottom snare. Like everything's mic'd, everything's honed in, everything's fine tuned. They know what they're doing. But when you bring that overcomplicatedness down to the cover band bar level where you don't have your own sound tech, you're relying on the bar sound tech, and granted, I like to think we do a good job, but when you're running this weird, sophisticated, multi-guitar amp situation where each one needs to be EQ'd, and meanwhile we got 15 minutes to sound check everything, it's just, you're overcomplicating it to a point where you're doing yourself a disservice because it sounds worse than it should. And even bands that just like, they think it's cool to swap positions every other song. Like, oh, I'm playing bass now. Oh, I'm playing guitar now. Oh, I'm playing drums now. Hey, watch me play the keyboard. There's one band in town. I don't throw out names in my video. There is one band in town where they occasionally swap positions here and there for a couple of the songs during the night, and they do a good job doing it. But I feel like some of the other newer bands in town started seeing that, and it's like, oh, well, they do it a couple times, and that looks pretty cool. Why don't we just do it every other song? Meanwhile, me as the sound tech, I'm like, okay, every song feels like a new song as I'm freaking switching everything around every mix, because you hand the bass off to this guy who slams on the strings like he's trying to murder it, and then you look like you're plucking it with a feather. I can hardly hear it. So just the volumes are all over the place. Every song I'm sitting there riding the faders, and meanwhile you're dancing around with smiles on your face thinking like everything's peachy, when at the end of the day, it's like I'm mixing a new band every song because you don't stay in your same places. You're all over the place. There's zero consistency from when one person's playing an instrument to when you hand it off to the next person. And it's just, it's an overcomplicated mess that you think is cool, but you're making it too complicated, and it sounds like crap. And there's no way around it. What happened to the nice 3-4 piece band where you've got drummer, guitar, bass, maybe another guitar, rhythm and lead, like that's fine, but you've got your amps, and you're good to go. It all sounds good. Now there's multiple track channels, there's sample channels, there's multiple guitar amps, there's unnecessary vocal mics all over the place. I mean, it's just, it's insanely overcomplicated. And at the end of the day, how much are you actually playing? Because you got freaking tracks going on. I mean, the thing that really annoys me about tracks is, I come from originally a DJ background. And when I started to get into live sound, I actually did a lot of research, a lot of education. I didn't just go straight out and be like, oh, I'm going to go do a big show, I know what I'm doing. No, I started out with like acoustic shows, I worked my way up, and really learned and kind of honed in on what I was doing so that I knew what I was doing when I started. And just from the beginning, band guys would just dog on me like, oh, he's a DJ, he doesn't know anything. And they just dog on the DJ constantly. But then when you look at today's bands, it's like, dude, half your channels are tracks. Like, you want to talk shit about a DJ because we play other people's music. You're basically singing along to a karaoke song. The tracks argument, that's for another video. But this video is just about, man, if you are in a cover band, keep it simple. If you want to be extremely complicated, man, you need to bring your own mics, mic up your own stuff, bring your own sound tech, and really hone the whole show together and practice it and make sure it sounds good. Record yourself. Listen to it afterwards and find out where the hiccups are. And don't overcomplicate yourself with a 6-foot rack of pedals that you don't even know which ones you turned on and which ones you didn't, I mean, too many pedals, you can have too many pedals. I mean, I know they're probably cool to buy, But if you turn them all on at once, it doesn't sound good. And if you turn your tuning pedal on, make sure you turn it off. Don't get confused by all your other pedals that you're clicking on. But just keep it simple. If you're getting paid $1,000, $1,500 to play in a bar for 150 people, you don't need to bring in this huge studio setup. I mean, I know one guy that I would see him come in with just this tiny little amp. And he's quite possibly the best guitar player in town with some of the best tone I've ever heard, and he's got the simplest, easiest setup. You know, I think some people maybe try to mask their talent with technology. I know so DJs probably do it all the time with sync buttons and stuff like that. I mean, I know I've used the sync button a time or two and when I've been out, but I don't claim to be the best DJ in the world either. When I'm out DJing, I spend most of my time in the office booking shows and doing the office work, so that's my excuse there. But you know, just let's keep it simple. Let's keep it simple. And a week from this Saturday, I will set up 5 vocal mics, and I will look at the stage with a squinty eye, and I will be looking to see who's singing. And they better all be singing. That's all I gotta say. Until next time, have a good day.